Hello students. In our optics chapter, now we are going to understand one very important heading, that is interference of light. This is a new concept. So let us understand it. So interference, that means we have to take now interference of two light waves. So it will be this way, that we have to take one light wave and second light wave traveling in the same direction. So we can underline the conditions which are required, that we have to take two light waves traveling in the same direction. Then other than the same direction, what other conditions should be there? That are that the two waves should be of same frequency and they should be of constant phase difference. Okay, so this same frequency and constant phase difference, it can also be known by a single name, coherent sources. These conditions means coherent sources. Okay, so what happens when the two waves are traveling in the same direction and they are following these two conditions, same frequency and their phase difference is constant. That means the phase difference is not changing with time. Suppose the phase difference is 30 degree between them. So it is throughout 30 degree. Okay. During its motion. It is not changing with time. So what happens now? When these two waves superimpose at some points on the medium. Medium means, suppose we are keeping here a screen. Okay. And what happens? This is our first input wave. And this is our second input wave. And we want to merge them, that means superimposition in proper words. So suppose we want to mix the two waves, so we will be keeping here a screen, there the two waves will merge. And what we will see now, when first and second wave will merge, they will give a resultant wave here on the screen. So how the resultant wave is? So we will observe that intensity of resultant waves becomes maximum at some points and minimum at other points. So what we will notice here, that here the intensity of the final wave, it is maximum at some points. Okay, then a minimum point will come, then again maximum point, maximum, minimum on both the sides of the screen. That means both the sides of the center. If this is the center, here also, the same type of pattern will be observed. So this pattern of maxima and minima, you can see alternate maxima and minima are there. Maxima, we call that points where intensity is maximum, or we can also call it bright, and the points where no intensity or minimum intensity is there in between. These points are called minimas or dark points. Okay, so this pattern is called interference pattern. Okay, so now you can see, you can notice here one thing, that the two waves are traveling in the same direction. So if the two waves are traveling in the opposite direction, this we have already studied, that if the two waves traveling in the opposite direction superimpose, then what is the resultant wave produced? That we call stationary wave. This we have already discussed in class 11th. Okay, so which type of wave will be generated as an output wave? That depends upon the initial conditions of the two input waves. So what are the conditions for interference wave? That you need to remember now. So what is the interference definition? When two waves traveling in the same direction and following two properties, same frequency and constant phase difference. They superimpose at some point on the medium, then resultant wave. Intensity of resultant wave becomes maximum at some points and minimum in between points. This pattern or this phenomena of energy redistribution is called interference. Now this is very important term, energy redistribution. So if the question comes in exam, which phenomena shows the energy redistribution in optics? So you will say interference of light. Okay. Now we will be making the two waves equations and we will be adding that two waves. So how to make the equations of the two waves? Let us understand. See, this is first progressive wave its equation is this way written. Okay, and the second wave y2, second wave means y2, its equation is written this way, a2 sine omega t plus phi. Okay, I am just now writing here the angle, some constant value, phase angle 30 degrees suppose. So what is the meaning of these terms? See, a1 and a2, that means the terms which are written other than sine theta, that are amplitudes. Okay, and you can see this format is sine, format of the wave is sine, this is the sine graph. Okay, so that's why we have taken the sine. We can use the cos graph also. Okay, cos equations also. So just now we are proceeding with the sine equations only. So a1 and a2 are said to be the amplitudes of the two input waves. Then sine theta will come. Then omega t denotes the theta here, and here omega t plus something we have to show. So omega t plus phase difference. This 30 degree means phase difference it is. So we can say that between the two waves, the phase difference of 30 degrees there, or it can be 45 degree, 40 degree, whatever. But it is a constant. It should not change with time. And you can notice one thing, that I have taken here also omega frequency, here also omega frequency, angular frequency. Because the condition is that both the waves should be of the same frequency. We cannot write here omega 1 and omega 2. Okay, if we are doing the solutions of interference. So this way the two waves are taken, and we are going to make in the next sheet the final waves. Before that, we will discuss the Young's experiment. One term may be attached to it, sustained interference. What do we mean by sustained interference? So if the positions of maximas and minimas are fixed or do not change, okay, wherever the maxima is obtained on the screen or wherever the minima is obtained, that positions, if they are fixed, then we call that interference what? Sustained interference. Okay, now let us proceed to Young's double slit experiment. So this interference phenomena, it was practiced in the Young's experiment. Let us move to that. Note down. Okay, now this interference phenomena, this was practiced mainly by the first person, Young. The name of the scientist is Young. He performed a famous experiment that we call Young's double slit experiment. Okay, Young's double slit experiment. What is the meaning of double slit, that we are coming to now? So to understand this concept, let us discuss first of all coherent sources. As I have told you before, coherent sources means satisfying that two conditions. Okay, so the waves generated from these sources have same frequency and constant phase difference. Okay, so if the waves generated from the two sources follow these properties, that sources are known as coherent sources. Okay, now we want here two waves. For the interference, we want two input waves. So what if we take two input waves from two separate bulbs or independent bulbs or LEDs? Okay, so actually the problem is that these two independent bulbs, two separate bulbs, cannot be coherent. Okay, two independent bulbs or LEDs cannot be coherent because they produce the light waves of changing phase difference. Okay, we want a constant phase difference, but here what will happen? If two separate bulbs are there, so their phase difference will be changing. So this property of coherent sources will not be satisfied. So what this Young wanted, he wanted to make the two light waves, two input light waves from two coherent sources. So how to make two coherent sources? So the idea was this, that first of all a source is taken. This is the source. Okay, and after that from this source the light is generated in this side. Now from this single source we want to make two sources of light. So what was done? One cardboard was taken like this, and in this cardboard two holes were made or at equal distance from the source. So if this is the source line, so at equal distance two holes were made. So these two holes are known as slit 1 and slit 2. S1 and S2. Now these two holes were very narrow holes, narrow. So that means now here illumination will come, the light will come and it will reach at points S1 and S2. Now because again from here the light can move further. So these are becoming the point sources of light. Okay, so these are narrow slits. And the third thing which was taken in the Young, that was the screen, where the interference pattern was observed. So in Young's experiment, you can remember that triple S arrangement is there. First S is source, second S means slits, and third S means screen. This is the screen where interference pattern will be seen. Now, why the maximas and minimas are obtained on the screen? First of all, in this Young's experiment setup, using Huygens principle, which is using the wave nature of light. Okay, so Huygens principle, we can explain the formation of maximas and minimas. Let us understand it. See, first of all, light will come from the single source. It will be reaching at the slits. Now each of the slit is again the point source of light. From here also light will come. Now we know that according to Huygens theory, a point source of light generates the spherical wave fronts. So first wavefront, second spherical wavefront, third wavefront. This way a number of wavefronts will be generated. Now I am taking the wavefronts from different color from the second source. This is also second source of light. From here also spherical wavefronts will be generated. This way. Okay, so what will happen if we keep on making such wavefronts and they will reach on the screen? So you can see now on the screen as they will reach, you can see there will be some points where the intensity by both the wavefronts is contributed. You can see blue color wavefront and this red color wavefront. They are overlapping here. So here the intensity from both is contributed on the screen. So this is the maxima. Okay, in the same manner you can see this wavefront red and this blue wavefront. They are meeting here. So this is also contributing to the intensity on the screen. So in the same manner, wherever overlapping positions are coming, that are all maximas on the screen. And there will be the points just in between where we will get no intensity or minimum intensity. Okay, these points will be called minima. So where the intensity is contributed by both the sides of wavefronts, there we will get maximas, and in between maximas we will get minimas. So all these are maximas. Okay, these dots are all maximas, and in between any two maxima, minima is obtained. Okay, so this is the explanation of the Young's experiment by Huygens theory. So let us write little detail. If it is asked, explain this experiment by Huygens theory, you have to write these points. Each narrow slit is the point source of light which generates spherical wavefronts. So here also, here also. Wherever on screen intensity is contributed by both side wavefronts, that points are maximas. So you can see this is the overlapping position. This is the overlapping position. In the same manner, these are maximas. And in between maximas, the points of minimum intensity are minimas. So this is the explanation. Now, one very important point here, that Young's experiment is the confirmation of wave nature of light. Okay, so this is the 1 mark question also. Which experiment confirms the wave nature of light? So that is Young's experiment. Okay. Okay, now we are coming to one very important major question. It can be asked in 5 mark or 3 mark in the board paper, that we have to obtain or derive the resultant interference wave equation by superposition principle. So first is the derivation of the final equation, and second part is find the conditions of maxima and minima. Maxima means constructive interference and minima means destructive interference. Okay, now let us start the solution. First input wave equation and second input wave equation we have to write. So as I have told you, y1 equal to a1 sin omega t and y2 equal to a2 sine omega t plus phi. These are the two input waves. Okay, these are called displacements of two input waves. After that, a1 and a2 are amplitudes of two input waves. Now here amplitude should be same, that is no restriction. There is no restriction for the amplitudes. They can be different also. But frequency should be same, so omega omega written. And one phase difference we have to show, that is constant phase difference. Okay, for the interference. Now both the waves, input waves, they will merge, they will mix or they will superimpose, and they will generate a new wave. So how to get the new wave means interference wave? So that is by superposition principle. Superposition principle means two input waves you have to add, that will give you the output wave equation. So let us start substituting now. So we have already a1 sine omega t as our first equation, then a2 sine omega t plus phi as the second equation. Now we have to solve it mathematically. So first of all, we need here a formula for opening this part. So I am writing the formula here. Sine a plus b, that means in the sine if two angles are there, its formula is sine a cos b plus cos a sine b. You already know this formula. Now let us apply it. So our a1 sine omega t, first term is as it is. In the second term, a2 sine a cos b. So sine omega t cos phi plus cos omega t sine phi. Okay. This way. This a2 term is with both. So you can see omega t, once I have written with sine, and here I have written omega t with cos. So that is fine. After that now, till what extent we have to solve it? Let us see now. So here you can see sine omega t can be taken common in first two terms. So here a1 will be left, and here a2 cos phi will be left in the bracket. And that side, it is already a single term, but cos omega t I should write at the second place only, because sin omega t is written at second place. Cos omega t should also be at the second place. Now the next step for the solution is that since our input equations are in the sine format, okay, that means amplitude into sine. So that's why our output equation should also be in single sign format. Okay, so here you can see sine and cos both are appearing. So what we have to do now, we have to make it in a single sine theta. So we need to assume. So what we will do now, जो sine के साथ है उसको हमें cos मानना है. Okay, so let this first term a1 plus a2 cos phi, ये जो first term है इसको हम पूरा a cos theta मान लेंगे. In the same manner, जो cos के साथ है उसको sin मानना है. So a2 sin phi है, उसे हमें sin theta करना है. जो यहाँ लिया था theta, यहाँ भी theta लेना है. So a sin theta, we have to assume it. So we have assumed these two terms. We will apply now in our main equation. So here in this equation we will apply a1 plus a2 cos phi. We have to write a cos theta. Sin omega t is already there. a2 sin phi, we have to assume a sin theta. Cos omega t is already there. Now a is common. So you must have understood why we have taken capital A on both the sides. So that this and this equation, something can come common and the remaining equations can be merged together. So a is common in both. Now you see sin a cos b plus cos a sin b is appearing. So it will become sin a plus b. So omega t plus theta it will become. So this way we have obtained our final wave equation. Okay, so this is the equation of interference final wave. Equation of resultant interference wave. Okay, so equation is obtained. Now still the solution is remaining. Whatever we have assumed here, like A we have assumed new thing, new term. So A we have to solve in terms of the given quantities. So let us start solving. Note down till here. Few terms I have not removed. I am taking it now. A1 plus A2 cos phi we had assumed equal to A cos theta, and A2 sin phi we had assumed as A sin theta. Okay. Now this equation you give number 1 equation, the wave equation. So that means this is equation second and this is third. Now we have to solve this capital A. So if any equations are in form of A cos and A sin, and we have to remove cos and sin, so the technique is that we have to square and add the two equations. So squaring and adding both the equations. So here A1 plus A2 cos phi square, and here A square cos square theta plus third equation A2 sin phi square plus this way done A square sin square theta. Now if A square is taken common, cos square theta plus sin square theta becomes 1. That side solved. Now this side. Here we have to open this square box. So A1 square plus 2 A1 A2 cos phi plus A2 square cos square phi plus, now these three terms are done. Here also squaring is needed. So A2 square sin square phi. Now again A2 square can be taken common here. Cos square phi plus sin square phi will become 1. So this side, these starting terms will remain same. So finally we have got the amplitude answer. So amplitude of resultant wave, this is very important. This only will help us to find the conditions of maxima and minima. So amplitude equation we have obtained. So finally the amplitude of resultant wave we should write in square root. This way. Okay. Now amplitude of final wave has been solved. This is amplitude of final wave. You can give it equation number 4. Amplitude of final wave. Okay. This is amplitude solved. Now other than amplitude, one term intensity is also to be solved. So let us make the intensity formula here. So intensity. What is the meaning of intensity? So intensity of final wave, it is equal to I, suppose if I write it, it is proportional to amplitude square. Okay. So if I remove the proportional sign, Ka square will come. Ka square. Okay. Intensity is proportional to amplitude square, intensity of any wave. So intensity of final wave is Ka square. In the same manner, if I write the intensity formulas for input waves. So as you know, intensity of first wave will be proportional to amplitude of first wave square. So it will come I1 equal to Ka1 square, and I2 will come what? Ka2 square. So remember, intensity कैसे निकालनी है? Amplitude का square करके K से multiply करना है. Okay. So if I have got this answer as my final answer for amplitude. If I want intensity, so first of all I need the square of the amplitude. This is there. Now if I multiply K in this equation everywhere. So you see now, A1 square plus 2 A1 A2 cos phi plus A2 square equal to capital A square. If I multiply on both the sides with K, okay, so if I multiply K this side, so here also everywhere it will be multiplied with K. This way. Okay. Now let us replace them by their names. So as I have told you, Ka square. Ka square is the final intensity. Ka1 square, it is intensity 1, intensity of first wave. Ka2 square, this is the intensity of second wave. Now here you see, I am getting only 1 K, but A1 and A2 both are present. So what I need to do, I will distribute this K in form of root K into root K. Because if I see, if Ka1 square is I1, so root Ka1 will be root I1. In the same manner, root Ka2 will be root I2. So I need to distribute this K in form of root K. So one root K and second root K. This way. So it will finally become what? 2 I1 I2 cos phi. Okay. So this is the final answer for the intensity of final wave. So here we have solved amplitude of final wave and intensity of final wave. Okay. Now let us come to the conditions, how to obtain the conditions of maxima and minima. Note down these steps. Now let us understand the conditions of maxima and minima. Or if it is asked, find the conditions of constructive interference and destructive interference. Let us start. First of all, we will require here the amplitude formula. So this is written on the top. Root of A1 square plus 2A1 A2 cos phi plus A2 square. Let us start now. We need to write here points. All possible points for maxima and minima. First of all, we want the maxima. That means on the screen, we want where we will get maxima, means maximum amplitude points. So that means the amplitude we have to make maximum. And for minima, we have to make amplitude minimum. Okay. Now, who will decide that maximum amplitude will be what? So here you can notice that one cos phi term is appearing. So cos phi term will decide maximum or minimum amplitude. So if we want to make a maximum, cos phi should also be maximum. And cos phi should be maximum, that means it should be plus 1. And here cos phi should be minimum. Now minimum value of cos theta is minus 1. Now if I put cos phi plus 1, what will be my maximum amplitude? So if I put cos phi plus 1, so amplitude formula I will get what? A1 square plus 2A1 A2 plus A2 square. Its root. So that means it is the square box, A1 plus A2 whole square, and root will be cancelled. So amplitude maximum formula is A1 plus A2. Okay. In the same manner, amplitude minimum formula. You see now cos phi minus 1 substituted here. So it will become A1 square minus 2A1 A2 plus A2 square. So it is the whole square of A1 minus A2. And it is cancelled with the square is cancelled with the root. So amplitude minimum is A1 minus A2 and amplitude maximum is A1 plus A2. Now let us proceed. Cos phi is plus 1. With the help of that, we have to find all possible phase differences. Okay. So if cos phi is plus 1, what should be possible phi values? So let us start. We know that cos 0 is 1. So first phi should be 0. Okay. Cos 0 is 1. That's why our first phase difference should be 0. We have to write all possible phase differences. So I will tell you here the formula in terms of cos. I'll write it here. Friends, we have this idea. Cos even pi's are plus 1 and cos odd pi's are minus 1. Even pi is plus 1. So I want cos plus 1. Cos phi plus 1. So all even pi's I have to put here. So cos is 2 pi also is plus 1. Cos 4 pi is also plus 1. 6 pi is also plus 1. Like that all even pi's are always plus 1. So how to write it in general? I have to write it its general formula. So because these are even numbers. So for even numbers I write 2n pi. Okay, so general formula of the phase difference here has come 2n pi. Now come to this side. Cos phi I want -1. Now cos odd pi's are -1. That means what are the 5 possible values? एंगल कितना होगा cos में जब आंसर cos का -1 आए? तो वो सारे एंगल्स लिखने हैं. तो सारे ऑड पाइस होते हैं वो -1 होते हैं. तो पाई, 3 पाई, 5 पाई, इन सब के आंसर्स cos में -1 आते हैं. अब ऑड को हम जनरली कैसे लिखें? ऑड नंबर को, तो ऑड नंबर को जैसे इवन नंबर को लिखते हैं 2n, ऐसे ही ऑड नंबर को लिखना होता है आइदर 2n+1 और 2n-1. वी कैन सेलेक्ट एनी one formula for odd number. So we are selecting 2n-1 formula. 2n-1 pi is the formula for the odd number. Okay, now we have to mention here that what should be the starting value of n. Like we have to make the first odd number 1. So how 1 will be made? So n, if I put 1, 1 2s are 2 -1, it will give us first odd number. So starting value of n should be 1. n starting from 1. Then put n2. So 2 2s are 4 -1. 3 has obtained. Put n next number 2. 3. 3 2s are 6 -1 5. This way the odd numbers are prepared. Okay. Now our next step is path difference. We have got this thing, no? This phi means phase difference we have obtained already in the point number 4th. Now in point number 5 we are obtaining the path difference. Path difference. See, in between the two waves, angle wise the difference is called phase difference, but their distance covered wise the difference is called path difference. Angle wise in between the two waves the angle difference is called phase difference and distance difference is called path difference. So path difference is obtained from the phase difference only. Path difference को हम x बुलाएंगे. इसका फॉर्मूला होता है phase difference upon 2 pi into lambda. We will apply this formula and will solve all path differences possible. Let us start. I have to put here phi. Phi means 2n pi upon 2 pi into lambda according to the formula. So 2 pi cancelled. What is left? n lambda. So जब भी दोनों वेव्स के बीच में n lambda डिफरेंस होगा तो मैक्सिमा बनेगा. ओके, n lambda डिफरेंस मीन्स मैक्सिमा. हियर आई विल राइट द पाथ डिफरेंस फॉर्मूला. सो फॉर्मूला इज द सेम. I will apply now phi value for this case. Phi value for this case is 2n-1. If I apply it in this formula, phi value substituted, 2 pi and lambda are there, pi cancelled. So 2n-1 by 2 lambda. So you can remember that these are the final answers of path differences for maxima and for minima. Now we will apply all the n values and will make the possible path differences. Like we have made the possible phase differences, no? In the same manner possible path differences. So n0, put n0, then n1, then n2, then n3, like that. Here also in the same manner start the n, but starting value of n should be 1 here, as we have discussed already. To make the first odd number we have to put n1. So here also n1 should be there. So 2n-1 means 1 by 2 lambda. Then next odd number 3 by 2 lambda, 5 by 2 lambda, this way. So these are the conditions of maximas and minimas. Okay, so this way we have obtained the complete table of maxima and minima.